Thank you. Welcome to the Fairfield City School District's Board of Education meeting for September 15th. Mrs. Lane, please call the roll.
Mr. Begley?
Here.
Ms. Birding?
Present.
Mr. Clark?
Present.
Mrs. Gundrum?
Here.
Mrs. Shorter?
Here.
Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Smith, presentations and resolutions.
Yes, Mr. Begley and members of the board, we do have one presentation scheduled this evening, and that is a spotlight on our academy. We do have several guests with us, but I will start us off by introducing our director, Mr. Kyle Jamison, and allow him to introduce our guests this evening.
Hello. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you, members of the board. We are grateful for the opportunity to be with you here tonight. Joining me right here is our Dean of Students, Ms. Borrell. Ms. Borrell and I have had the privilege of serving at the Academy. We're going on our 6th year. We're like, can't believe it. We've been a team here for that long. And I can speak for the both of us when I say that that we love our jobs, and it's due in part to an amazing team that we have. Some are here today, and our students, and we have one of our students here with us today, which we'll introduce them in a little bit. This job is not always easy, as we all know, but we are fortunate to be able to help kids in some very profound and meaningful ways at the Academy. We are always grateful to be able to share our story, to kind of brag on the things that are taking place in our school. And click here. Just real briefly, just our purpose and our mission. As you may know, many of our students come to us carrying a lot. Many who come with challenges, academic, personal, social, emotional, mental health. These challenges have impacted their success in school traditionally. And so when I talk about our purpose, the Academy is here. We're dedicated to providing our students with an opportunity for a fresh start, or just simply a new way of doing school. And we do this by focusing on their individual strengths, their individual needs, and we strive to eliminate barriers and remove barriers if we can. We do this by meeting the needs of the whole child in a flexible, caring environment. And if you've been to our school, you kind of feel that. So tonight, we'd like to share some of those ways we carry out our mission, and then we'll bring some of our guests up here to speak and kind of share their story about some of the ways those play out. For those who are not too familiar with the Academy, I would like to just kind of give you a brief overview, and I mean real brief. So we are one school, 4 programs. We have a middle school program. We serve 7th and 8th graders in-house. We have 30 seats, and that's split up between Crossroads and Creekside. We also have a high school program with 120 seats, and that's half day for most, for our 10th through 12th, most of them, and then our freshmen are there full day. And we also have a virtual middle school program and a virtual high school program as well. And so I'll turn it over to Mr. Borrell to talk a little bit about the history here.
Thank you. So the building itself opened in 2014 with the vision of just serving students who are not successful in a traditional environment. The first few years we were not there, but things have changed quite a bit since then. It started out a lot of credit recovery type of kiddos, and now we serve the whole child, and we serve students who have specific mental health needs, academic needs, all kinds of things, and everything in between. In 2017, the Academy earned the Outstanding OSBA Outstanding Program Award. I wish that I could say that we were a part of that. We both started that 17-18 school year together. So in 2018, we went from just an in-person program where we were serving students in the building, and we expanded. That's when we expanded and added the virtual piece. So that started out pretty small the first year or so while we figured out what we were doing and how to manage this with our teachers and make sure that those kids were getting what they needed as well. Now we serve almost 40 students in that program with our teachers in the building. In 2020, there wasn't enough going on in the world. We thought, let's add some middle school students to our building. So that first year, we did serve grades 6 through 8 that first year. But we, in order to add the middle school virtual program, shrunk that just a little bit. So we served students in grades 7 and 8 in our middle school program. 2 teachers and 1 educational assistant over there full-time to serve those students. And then this past year, we recognized that there was a need for some of our middle school students to also have a virtual option. So last year, we added some virtual options for our middle school students, and that serves grades 6 through 8. And that is a strictly virtual program. However, those kids, all virtual students, high school and middle school, have access to teachers during office hours every single day. So a student could schedule a time to meet in person, schedule a Zoom, schedule a phone call, whatever it is that they need to get help. Teachers are designated every day to help those students as well. In the last 8 years since the building has been open, we have served nearly 1,000 students and graduated almost 400. So with us, this being the 6th year, we've been a part of lots of personal stories, and some of those stories are just incredible. We don't have enough time to tell all those stories, but nearly 400 graduates, and I couldn't believe it when he gave me that number. I said, we gotta count these. I don't think that's right, and it absolutely is. It's a great number, and we're gonna have more. We've already got 2 so far this year, so we're adding to that number.
Thank you. So while much of our focus is on academics and finding unique ways to meet the needs, we do also like to have fun. Who doesn't like to have fun? These are some pictures from various events and activities that we do throughout the year. And to highlight some of those, we do some student and teacher competitions. We have incentive trips and rewards. And thanks to some generous community sponsors, we've been able to do an annual Thanksgiving dinner or Thanksgiving lunch to give every kid an opportunity to have a traditional Thanksgiving meal. And then we get out and play some football, some flag football, staff and students, which is a lot of fun. Something we started a couple years back, we started a holiday shop, or Santa shop, where instead of kids coming in and purchasing, as staff members, we go out and we purchase items together. We go out as a team and pick out items we think the students might want to pick out for a mom or a sibling. And the students get to come in and pick out a couple of these items, wrap them, and be able to provide, a family member with a gift that they might not otherwise be able to do. So these are pictures. We also have Rosie the dog there in the middle. She comes and visits us kind of on a monthly basis. So lots of fun activities. And I think with all of these fun activities, there's always a greater purpose and meaning behind them. And we're very thoughtful in the way we do these things. And yeah, it's a special place. So we like to mix it up, give the kids not just the academics, but we like to, and adults like to have fun too. So I'll go ahead and turn this over to Ms. Saboril to kind of talk through really what we want to focus on tonight, just meeting the needs of the whole child.
So our students are able to get all of the courses and all of the credits that they need strictly in our building if that's what they need to do. We offer all kinds of academic choices, electives. Now we can't offer as many electives obviously as what kids are able to do here in the high school, but we make sure that those schedules are flexible. We have some kids occasionally that we create an entire schedule just for them because that's what they need. For the most part though, the schedules are half day and most of our kids are able to do either a half day program. The elective piece, sometimes we have a kid involved in different things through the high school or the middle school. So if I have a kiddo in show choir or a kid that's in band and marching band or whatever, we work with the high school or the middle school to make sure they're able to participate in those electives. Otherwise, we offer many of those right in our building. Our classes are very small on all classrooms on both sides, middle and high school, to make sure that we're able to personalize everything that we do academically. As a student, as a human, we are very personal with our kids. We get to know them because the classes are small. Individualized academic support. I say that every kid just gets what they need. It's a living, breathing program that every day is different, and whatever the kid needs that day, that's what we figure out and that's what we do. Our kids have close access to all of the staff here in the building, resources, unique opportunities. Just a quick example of that, the gentleman right there in that picture on the bottom, Mr. Williams, our newest EA, has decided this week that he'd like to engage the kids in some reflective writing. So he's giving a quote of the week and said, I'll give you Live School Points, which is our incentive program, for anyone that would like to tell me what this quote means to them. So he's getting engaged with the kids. He's offering them an incentive for being reflective. It's just been a great experience so far with Mr. Williams. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to read them today, but he was really excited about them, so I can't wait to read those. We do college and career advising. We try to bring in opportunities for kids that they may not be able to go out and do. So we'll bring in college speakers, career speakers. One year we had a group that was involved in game design, so we found somebody to zoom in on game design. So we try to find speakers that the kids are interested in hearing so that it's meaningful and hopefully purposeful for them. Our families have direct access to all the services and supports, which you'll hear a little bit about here shortly. We do all kinds of social and emotional learning through positive relationships, and that's the whole point of everything that we do, is to try to be positive and build those relationships. We also offer some mental health services within the building. We have Catalyst Counseling full-time in our building, and we have a full-time social worker, and it was very important to us when we partnered with them that we had someone available to all of our students. We do not have school counselors in our building like all of the other buildings do, so it was very important to us to have that extra layer of support. Sometimes kids need someone to talk to and they don't want it to be us because there's lots of reasons they don't want it to be us sometimes, or a teacher or a parent. So it was important to us that we were able to provide that service to all of our kids. For students that need a little bit more, we also have a school-based counselor in our building through Catalyst. We can make those referrals and intensify the services that they receive if that's needed. We do all kinds of prevention programs. We try to do some social skills groups, some school-based counseling where we are able to do some preventative type work. So we might see a need of 5, 6, 8 kids that need to talk about anxiety or grief and loss or whatever, adulting. We've done some adulting classes trying to teach kids, you're getting ready to graduate and this is not reality once you graduate. So let's talk about what it's like to be an adult. So we try to provide all of those services for all of our kids across both grade level, all the grade levels, both programs, and get all of our extra help and lovely people involved.
So we'll bring up the real important people here. We'll start, our first guest is Morgan Gardner. And some of you might already know Morgan or work with Morgan, but we're fortunate to have Morgan. She is our Butler County Success Liaison. We figured out 4 years, coming up on 4 years now. And Morgan, she works out of her building at least 2 to 3 times a week. And she's caring, she's creative, she's committed to just helping our students and families get the resources they need and kind of removing some of the barriers to success. So turn it over to Morgan.
Hello. As Mr. Jamison said, my name is Morgan Gardner. I am the Community School Liaison for the Success Program. Some of you may already be very familiar with our program. For those that may not be, I want to just give a brief description. So we have 5 liaisons in this district, so we're placed in every school building. Some of you, I have the great privilege of working with our older students in the district, so I'm placed here at the high school and I'm at the academy. The main goal for our program has always been to remove non-cognitive barriers to learning. So we know and we see, students, they perform better when they're coming to school not worrying about where they're going to sleep that night, not worrying about not having enough food or not having their stomachs full when they come to school, or not having to worry about their clothes being 2 or 3 sizes too small or not being, washed on a weekly, sometimes 2-weekly basis. So we know that those needs are not being met. Unfortunately, as we see, that there are students within our district whose basic needs are not being met. And sadly, we have seen that this has gotten much worse just in the past few years. We all know and can see how negatively COVID has impacted our world. As a liaison, I can see firsthand the negative impact that this has had on the families in our community and the students in our districts. So the need was really great before, but I can assure you that the needs are far greater now. The Success Program partners with community outreaches, churches, businesses, and the schools to help meet all these needs and provide as much support as we can to students and our families. Liaisons for the program typically primarily work with parents, But at the academy, because of its unique structure, I have the ability to be more hands-on with our students. This allows me to be more intentional and build more personal relationships with our students and with our families. This structure also allows me to work very closely with the admin, sometimes on a daily basis. Just this past school year, I've been able to coordinate with Mr. Jameson and coordinate with a Care Portal coordinator to get the Care Portal placed in Fairfield. So the Care Portal is a technology connecting platform that brings the needs of children and families in our community to the attention of our local churches and community members. In previous years, we have relied on an email chain to send out our needs to the churches and the community. We all know how unreliable email chains can be. So this technology allows us the liaisons, to directly submit a request on this Care Portal, and then it goes directly to the churches. They are immediately notified that there is a need in the area that they serve, and then we are able to connect with those churches immediately to get the needs that we have requested met for our families. We are still working towards getting this 100% up and running in our district, but we are so excited to see how positively this will change the way that we are able to meet needs in our district. I also wanted to quickly highlight just some common needs that I have been able to meet in the 4 school years that I have been working in the academy. I've helped unaccompanied students find financial support and housing. I've helped pregnant teens with accessing supports and services to help prepare them for motherhood. I've helped students over the age of 18 with obtaining medical insurance and accessing medical care. I've also worked very closely with CCMEP, which is a comprehensive case management and employment program through Ohio Means Jobs. They provide career coaching, job placement, mentoring, and tuition assistance, which has been very beneficial for the students at the academy. And that's just to name a few. So to conclude, if I were to describe what I do in one sentence, I would say that I am a great resource and support hub that students can access directly in their school buildings. I absolutely love what I do, and seeing these successful outcomes with our students and with our families just makes it all so worth it. So, thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. She's amazing. It's so nice to be able to just walk down the hall and say, hey, we've got a situation, and she gets it done most of the time. It's in more ways than we could even imagine, and she's got a lot of really amazing stories about just personal connections with kids and just success stories. If you ever have an opportunity to talk to her outside of a formal setting, this would be, she would be happy to share some of those things, some of those situations that she's really stepped in and met some ways and met some needs in some very creative ways. Our next speaker is Miss Robin Anderson. Mrs. Anderson is an absolute gem. She is one of our 2 amazing student support staff members at the Academy. Robin came to us in the middle of last year, and she works primarily with our middle school students. I can't tell you how lucky we were to find her, especially in the middle of a year, and hiring is tough. And did I mention how amazing she is? She's amazing. Robin wears so many different hats for our students. She can be a mentor for some. It's a motivator for some. It's a mom, and she's so much more. So I want to turn it over to Robin for a couple minutes.
Good evening. Like he stated, I'm an educational aide. I primarily work with the middle school, but sometimes I help out with the high school. And I have the luxury of spending one-on-one time, unstructured time with the kids. I like to call it the in-between. So I get to observe how they interact with their peers, how they interact with adults. They tell me about their family life, their relationships, work, one of our kids talks about work, talk about how they're emotionally doing, and even some share their mental health. And so like you said, I wear many hats. So not only am I a teacher and a helper for the teachers, I'm also a substitute mom. I'm also a disciplinarian for them. I'm a therapist, a counselor, a mentor, and just a sounding board where they can come to me and talk. Like you, and like Mr. Jameson stated, the kids want what we want. They want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to be valued, they want to feel important. And believe it or not, we do have some, tough nuts to crack, but they want reliable, consistent, caring, kind adults in their life that they can depend on. I did start last January. This is my first experience being an educational aide, and it's been a great experience because of the administration, the faculty, and other staff members. I have tremendous support. If anyone has a creative idea that they think will work, they are all for it. And basically, I feel like because the academy's size, we have an opportunity to really touch on a personal level that you can't do at a big school. The kids, they all need something different. They all have their own individual quirks. I can tell you, I know their pets' names, colors, their favorite drinks, their snacks, moms, dads, or no moms and dads. Not every day is rosy at the school, but not every day is a struggle at the school. We really are a team, and I really feel that the whole staff is so positive. I've learned so much. I go to them, they always have a caring word, they always have something that's going to motivate me. It is so rewarding. In the lean times when you're like, oh my gosh, are these children even hearing what we're saying? You'll be someplace and they'll be like, Mrs. Anderson, Mrs. Anderson. Or I have even gotten a text from a parent that said, you don't know, I taught them how to set a table. I got a text a couple days ago from a parent. One of our kids is going to the Cheesecake Factory, something we all take for granted. We go whenever. And she was like, and she said now she knows what fork to use. I mean, those are the things, though, that kind of make you keep going and make you want to do this. So all I have to say is I feel truly blessed to be at the academy. I have a lot more children. I already have 4 of my own, but I have a lot more children, and I hope that they keep me around. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks.
And we hope she stays around. In addition to some of the things I want to brag on her about, she, in addition to showing them how to set a table, she showed a group how to make Rice Krispie treats last week. She's threatening them to teach them how to do laundry. I think that's valid. We have a washer and dryer in our building, so why not teach them how to do some laundry? And then also this young lady in the picture up here, you can just see how she's beaming, and Mrs. Anderson went with her and her grandmother to get her hair done, and she looks great. So that was an amazing thing that she absolutely did not have to do but chose to do because she cares about our kids. So the last speaker that we have, I am excited to announce. This young man has been with us for 2.5 years now. He came to us as a 7th grader, a squirrely 7th grader. We have gotten to know him over the years. He's got, as you can see, a great sense of humor. And he's now a high school student. So he got to experience our middle school and what that was like. And now he's made that transition over to the high school and he's experiencing what that is like. So I'm really excited to introduce Kane Obie to you, and he's going to tell his story.
All right, so yeah, Kane Obie, as you know. So I came here in 7th grade. I wasn't really doing good in school. Learning wasn't so well, grades wasn't so well. I wasn't really in a good place at that time. So the principal at Creekside, where I used to go to, offered me this school. And my mom was like, well, let's give it a try. And so we did. And I'd say ever since then, I've had a wonderful experience. With him, with her, I mean, I've never, I mean, there's never been a time that I couldn't feel like I've never been comfortable in that building. I mean, if I'm ever having a bad day, they're there for me, and I'm not the type to really talk about my feelings, and they can tell when somebody's off or when I'm not having a good day, and they'll come and they'll make sure I am having a good day. I mean, the teachers there are supportive. Anytime I need help, they got me. I mean, I've never been in a moment where I couldn't ask for help and I wouldn't receive it. I mean, I've always felt welcomed. Every time I come into that building, I feel like it's a brand new day. I mean, Miss Anderson, I mean, I love her. She's great. I mean, that year I spent with her was amazing. I mean, I wouldn't change anything. I mean, I love this school. I mean, I chose to stay here because, I mean, my learning's great. I mean, I wouldn't change one thing. I mean, I'm comfortable here, and I don't know what would change that. I mean, they welcome me there like I'm their own child, you know. They, you know, give me what I need, you know. I'm never uncomfortable. Like, if I need to talk to somebody about my day, if I'm having a bad day, they talk to me and they, you know, break it down, you know, what's going on, you know, not just quick it up and speed it up and get me out of there. They want to, you know, what's going on with me, you know, how's my day going, you know, how's home life, you know. And, I mean, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, I loved this experience. I loved it from the start. I mean, at first, you know, I was puzzled with it. It's a new school, new people, new everything. I'm not really good with people, as you can see, but, you know, since then it's been amazing. I mean, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, 7th grade year went great, 8th grade year went great. I mean, the teachers there were always supportive with me. They always boost me up. There's never been a moment where I couldn't feel like I couldn't do something there. And I mean, I love it. It's amazing. I mean, I just feel welcome, and I feel like that's a good thing to feel welcome in your own school, in your own place. I mean, I wouldn't want to wake up, go to school, and feel like I'm not welcome to be there, or not comfortable talking with my own teacher. Whenever I need help, they're there for me, and I'm not that person, you know, really reach out and say I need help unless I really need help, and when I really need help, they're there for me. And I love this experience. I wouldn't change one thing. I mean, I've felt like I want to stay here. I mean, this is a great school. It's a great school for kids who, you know, can't really learn in a bigger environment like me. I have ADHD, so I can't just sit down and listen. I got to move. I got to get up. I got to fidget with things, and you can't really do that in a bigger class. You can't go up. You can't take a break. You know, you got to sit there and learn. I can't really do that, you know. I'm really fidgetive. I talk a lot, you know. I got to get up sometimes, and, you know, whenever I need a break, I can get up and go out and take a break and talk to somebody. I mean, I love it there. I mean, I think it's really important that you feel welcomed in your own school. That's all I want to say. I mean, there's never been a moment where I say I want to go to another school. I mean, I love this district. I love these people here. I mean, especially Miss Anderson. She made that great year for me as soon as she came, you know. Like she said, like a mom, you know, like she's like a mom, you know. Whenever you need to talk to her about something, she's there for you. I mean, there's never been a time where I couldn't go up to her and be like, hey, my day's going bad. You know, can you just boost it up? You know, she's always that up energy person, you know, giving me, you know, the boost that I need for the rest of the day. You know, no kid's happy to go to school, but I mean, when you go there, you got that energy, you know, you got to get through it, you know. It's a great experience. That's all I'm going to say. I love it there. I mean, I wouldn't change one thing. I mean, so Mr. Borrell came to me one day. She asked me, she's like, you want to put this on? I was like, you know what? Why not? You know, I'm that person. I'll do anything, you know, just to get a laugh. So I put that on, and, you know, we took a picture. And that other one, that's my friend Logan. He's been there, I think. He came back last year, and I've known him before, but I think we've gotten way closer since we've been in the same classes and, you know, the same people that we hang around. And we went bowling together, you know. As I can see, I feel welcome. Like, you know, I wear whatever like that I feel like I'm comfortable with it. As you can ask them. I mean, in that picture right there, I'm wearing a onesie. I mean, I'm literally wearing a onesie. And, you know, I feel comfortable there. We're like a family, you know. There's no bullying. There's no degrading anybody, you know. We're all close with each other. We're all understanding of each other because we all come from different places, but we all deep down have something in common. And, you know, I feel like that's a good thing that we all have something in common, you know. I don't really like bigger classrooms. I don't know, I can get really distracted easily. I'm not the type of person to just sit down and listen. I gotta, you know, have somebody next to me or someone close that I could just say, hey, in a bigger classroom, I really feel like that's for a person like me with ADHD to you know, be in a good environment. You know, some kids are like that, but I'm not. I mean, I need a smaller environment so I can reach out for help. And I'm not the kid, you know, like I said, you go, hey, teacher, I need help. I mean, I usually sit there and struggle until I'm breaking point. And, you know, they can tell before I'm at their breaking point. Like I said, I could have a bad day, I go in there, and I can get it fixed easy as that. I mean, I love this experience. I mean, I love these teachers, I love these principals. I mean, I wouldn't change one thing about it. I mean, I can go to Mr. Borrell and say I'm having a bad day. She'd talk down, sit with me, you know, explain it, break it down, and, you know, really understand what I'm going through instead of, you know, like I said, rushing me out of there, just trying to figure out one thing. She wants to figure out one thing after another until, you know, it's done and I'm feeling better. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the time I spent here. I mean, I love the teachers. I love everything. I love the students, you know. Like I said, we don't really have, you know, good days, but we also, yes.
Kane, I am so proud of you. I coached Kane in baseball a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I knew you were awesome. And when I visited the academy last year, the year before, and I saw you there too, you were just lit up. And this is you.
Yeah.
Before it was not you, this is you, and that's what the academy brings out.
Yeah, for sure.
Mr. Smith wears off on me sometimes. If I start to tear up, I apologize. But I am so proud of you, and I am so happy for you.
Thank you. Thank
You are a billboard for what this stands for,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So I know you're going to be successful no matter what you do,
Mhm.
and I am so glad that I got to know you and we
Thank
got
you.
to be friends.
Thank you. Like I've known him before, you know, the school. I was on his team. My cousin, my aunt was the coach, and you know, he's a great person. That year went great. I mean, I love that. I mean, I'm not really a baseball person, but you know, you bring that out with me, and I like this experience. I wouldn't change one thing about it. You know, I feel comfortable, and I like that. I feel like that's important. You know, that's all I have to say. But
Thanks for
thank
sharing.
you for your time.
We love Kane. This young man has grown up so much, and it's been amazing to watch him grow over the last couple years, and we are so excited to see where he's going to go and be a leader in our building and what he'll do. So, great young man.
Proud of you, Kane.
So, we want to thank you. We want to thank our guest speakers, giving us the opportunity. Thank you for giving us the opportunity just to give you guys a glimpse into what we do. Hopefully, you have a better understanding and idea of what takes place at the academy. And we are just thankful for the continued support of our board and our district team. Just a lot of support from you guys. Always felt like what we're doing is very special, and we've always felt supported. So we've been grateful to have a tremendous impact on hundreds, well, close to 1,000 students. Yeah. So thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Turn it over if you have any questions.
Absolutely. Comments from the board? Who'd like to go first?
Well, this was just awesome. I just have to say that this was really inspiring to hear. Mr. Odie, wow. I think that is just the best marketing program we could ever have for the Academy. You are just amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I do have a question because I was really intrigued with the CARE portal network. So my question is, are you guys going to be adding additional members to the network now that you have more of a direct pipeline? Also, what's the infrastructure of that? Is that via text, or how does that look? How does the portal look
that's a
like?
great question. I actually have a personal connection with the church I attend up in Middletown, and my wife's a teacher in Middletown schools. And our church brought CARE Portal. It's a nationwide platform, but brought it to Butler County. And our church brought that to Butler County, and it was amazing. I got to be the one that was providing needs for families in Middletown, the community where our church is, and delivering a washer and dryer and hooking it up, and gas cards and so forth. And I went to Morgan and I said, Morgan, we've got to get this here in Fairfield. This is so helpful, so much better than an email chain, and it basically puts a whole bunch of options for churches to just sort through. And maybe this church can't provide this need. Maybe it's monetary, and there's not monetary support for maybe this community group or small group to help. But it could be a physical need, it could be a crib or strollers or a myriad of things. And so I told her, hey, we got to get this. And I got to know the Care Portal rep for Ohio and got her connected with Morgan. We then brought it to the Fairfield leaders, Christian leaders group, and I think they were all in. And so we kind of dabbled in it last year, and now we're training more and more churches. It doesn't have to just be churches. It could be any organization. It could just be individuals that want to be on this. And so once you're trained in it, then you can actually go in, get access, and see these needs in your community. And so I'm so excited because, again, this is going to be a great tool for her and other liaisons in the district. Just it's vetted through them, and they're able to put these up and say this is a legitimate need, and then hand over that need to that community support agency or church, and connect them with that resource. It's a great tool. So did that answer your question? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So it sounds like it's almost like Millwheel. That's the kind of network or infrastructure that it has. So right now you have churches that are signed up for the program, but it sounds like based on the needs that the student might have, like if it's a monetary need, is it possible that individuals could sign up for the Fairfield Care Network portal if they're wanting to support an individual need?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Outside of
And
just
Morgan might
churches?
know a little bit more about that, yeah. Yeah, you come on, yeah.
And there is training next Wednesday, the 21st, at 9 a.m.
Yes, we finally got that on the calendar. So the Care Portal, so the way it works is, I think it's like different tiers. So right now we're in like the tier 1, which is where our focus is mainly just to get our local churches involved. So we're trying to get as many of our churches here in Fairfield in this system so that they can select how far they want their radius to be. So if we submit a request and it's in their radius, they'll immediately get a notification saying, hey, there's a need in your area, and if they can meet it, then they get connected with us and we get it met pretty quickly. So I think it is possible to get other like community businesses, community members themselves a part of this, but I think it just happens more slowly. So the main focus in this first tier is just to get as many churches as we can involved with this. So, does that answer your question?
It does, it
Okay.
does. And so
Okay.
the tier 1, we're just focusing
Yes.
on churches right
So,
now, and then
yes.
later on,
We're hoping to
additional-
build it to where we do have, local businesses that want to do volunteer work, community members themselves that are able to meet needs just themselves. Like, we're hoping to build it. Right now, we're just starting small with all of our churches here in Fairfield. So, but our hopes are big for what it can do.
And the other nice thing I'm connected with as well is that versus emails, if you're asking for X, you don't have 7 of those coming in.
Yeah,
Maybe
so it
they
tracks
have,
them.
it tracks it, so if you have X, it gets taken care of, and then the others say, well, what else do you need, and we can provide that information.
yeah. I love
pretty
this.
amazing.
This is awesome. Great job.
Other comments?
I'll go. Thank you both so much for everything you do. This is really emotional for me. I am engaged with kids outside of here through my church as well. To see what kids are going through today, and Mr. Jameson, I think you said it, maybe Ms. Burrow did. Ms. Anderson did, I apologize. The kids know when you're not real. They can sense that. And especially those ones that might be in the academy that are more sensitive and need that one-on-one attention. If you're trying to fake it just to get through, and Kane mentioned it, you're not trying to cook me up just to move me on. I'm going to start using that, by the way. They know when you're sincere and when you're not. And just the 1,000 that has come through and the 400 that have graduated 2 more already. Kudos to you. Thank you for doing that, because these kids need that outlet. I was close to that when I was in school, and we did not have something like that. And I went through a season at this age, 14 years old, where it was a real struggle. So thank you for being there for them, and thank you for truly, truly caring for those students. Appreciate it.
Yeah, building on that, I think the addition of the middle school is really important, and bringing those kids on board. You look at our speaker tonight, right? So Obi came when he was in 7th grade, right? So where would he be today if he had to wait until 9th grade or even later in his educational journey? So, the academy isn't somewhere we go to lose kids, it's where we go to find kids. That's really important. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all very much. And Mr. Obi he's really special. You can just feel the passion that he has and how much he appreciates all the work that all of you do. And I'm sure that's just the tip of the iceberg of all the kids that have really benefited from this program. I know I've mentioned before that I've worked with kids that are involved with the court system before, either on the criminal justice side or in the abuse, neglect, dependency side. And so many of these kids just, that they're having a day when you talk to them, and they just need somebody to talk to. And I'm so glad that you all are there and you recognize that, and that you're present for them, like truly present for them. So thank you all so much.
I'm basically going to echo everything that's been said so much, that thank you guys so much for presenting this. Thank you for being part of these kids' lives and impacting them not only now, but you are setting them up for success in the future and putting them in a great position to be successful members of our society. And I am so thankful that you guys presented this. I honestly, until tonight, didn't have a whole lot of information on the academy because I haven't unfortunately been able to get to your building yet. It is on my list this year. So I look forward to coming seeing it firsthand in person. Having Kane here tonight was absolutely fantastic. He really shows the kind of impact you guys have on your students. So thank you guys. Thank you, both of you, for coming and speaking with us tonight too. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. Please don't feel obligated to stay. You've done your part.
But you can.
I got to deal with my own child.